Good evening, friends. In today's video, I'm going to share you some concepts regarding types of spontaneous abortion. So, before proceeding to the types of abortion, I want you to get clarified with the concepts about the natural behavior of uterus or uterine smooth muscles cells which try to expel any foreign material which is there inside the uterine cavity but foreign to maternal cells. So may it be menstrual blood. Now menstrual blood will be foreign material because it is not a continuum of the endometrium of the uterus, but it is actually a shaded or detached endometrium. So it is no more a product or no more a part of the live endometrium. So this detached endometrium in the menstrual blood will be a foreign body. Same like that, the intrauterine devices which we put like copper T or Mirena, these are the again foreign bodies, and same concept is applicable to fetus because it has antigens of paternal origin which are foreign to maternal immune system. So the mother or the maternal immune system will behave exactly the same way with the fetus which has paternal antigen, that is the foreign antigen. It will behave exactly the same way with the fetus as the way it behaves with the intrauterine devices, that is copper T or Mirena, or the detached or shaded endometrium which comes out as a menstrual blood or flow. So I have been trying to focus on this concept because I want all of you to understand that the patient has menstrual pain, cramping pain because of this reason of the uterine smooth muscle trying to expel the foreign body. Same principle applies to the intrauterine devices. That's why the patient experiences cramping pain when we put intrauterine copper T or Mirena. And the same thing happens when the fetus is trying to be a part of maternal body, that is fetus is trying to get attached to the uterine structures. So but since the nature has decided to nature has decided because it is important for the fetus to grow inside the womb, that is the uterus, for the total 9 months. The nature itself has its solution. It is very much natural for uterus to behave to try to expel the foreign materials including the fetus, but then again nature itself has a solution to it by a natural hormone that is known as progesterone, which will act to as a uterine smooth muscle relaxant. Progesterone is a uterine for, or in fact for that matter any smooth muscle relaxant. So it is a nature's escape for that uterine behavior of trying to expel the foreign materials. So nature tries to escape that behavior of uterus by relaxing the uterine smooth muscles throughout the pregnancy by a hormone known as progesterone. Now this progesterone hormone is secreted from the corpus luteum, which itself is stimulated by a pituitary gonadotropin, that is LH. Why I am focusing on the name gonadotropin here? Because I want you to clarify that LH which stimulates the corpus luteum to secrete progesterone is nothing but a pituitary gonadotropin, a hormone which acts on the gonads secreted by the pituitary. So pituitary gonadotropin LH acts on the corpus luteum to secrete progesterone, which is a uterine smooth muscle relaxant and helps to maintain the relaxation of smooth muscle throughout the pregnancy, so that uterus does not behave the way it behaves with any foreign material with the fetus. Now, if the fertilization occurs, this corpus luteum, which was formed from the secondary oocyte after ovulation, will be known as corpus luteum of pregnancy. But the only difference here is it has to secrete more progesterone now, because now the uterus being pregnant is going to increase its smooth muscle cells, not only in numbers but also in size. So to relax such a large huge quantity as well as the large sized smooth muscles of uterus, body will need more progesterone. So this corpus luteum of pregnancy will secrete this progesterone till 9 to 11 weeks of gestation, because being smaller in size, now this corpus luteum of pregnancy may not be able to sustain the secretion of this more and more progesterone which is needed to sustain the pregnancy throughout the 9 months, because the ovarian size remains same throughout the pregnancy. So now we need to have something more than this corpus luteum of the pregnancy to secrete the progesterone, and even till that and that something more is nothing but the placenta, which will take over the function of the corpus luteum of pregnancy at around 9 to 11 weeks of gestation, and it will secrete its own hormones, especially the progesterone, which is needed to sustain the relaxing effect of the uterine smooth muscle. So but till the placenta is formed enough to secrete enough progesterone, that is till 9 to 11 weeks of gestation, after which the placenta takes the main function of progesterone secretion. But before this 9 to 11 weeks of gestation, all this progesterone is secreted by corpus luteum of pregnancy, but the pituitary LH itself is not sufficient to secrete, not sufficient to stimulate such corpus luteum to such extent. So the developing chorion itself secretes its hormone known as HCG, that is nothing but human chorionic gonadotropin, and LH is nothing but pituitary gonadotropin. So both of these gonadotropin having similar action will stimulate this corpus luteum of pregnancy to sustain the pregnancy by more progesterone at least till 9 to 11 weeks of gestation, after which the same function of secreting the progesterone, estrogen and HCG is taken over by the placenta, which is developed till this time. So I have explained this concept with a purpose that now you need to understand that whenever either this corpus luteum of pregnancy or this placenta, which are the main hormones secreting bodies which secrete the progesterone to maintain the pregnancy, if they are insufficient to produce the quantity of progesterone which is required for relaxing the uterus, if the progesterone is not produced in sufficient quantity either by the corpus luteum or by the placenta, then the uterine smooth muscle will definitely behave the way it normally behaves with the foreign materials, including with the fetus, because it has, as I said, paternal antigens. So fetus being having a paternal antigens, so being a foreign material for the uterine smooth muscle, and this uterine smooth muscle here, if is not getting enough progesterone, enough required more and more progesterone to relax the smooth muscle, then uterus will definitely contract because of its natural tendency to try to expel the foreign materials, and it will expel the fetus which is foreign to it, and then this will lead to expulsion of products of conception. It will lead to expulsion of products of conception from the uterus to the outside world through the vagina spontaneously, and this will be known as spontaneous abortion. I'm sure you will be now clear with the concept, how it goes with the spontaneous abortion, what is the exact reason behind this spontaneous abortion. Now, the types of spontaneous abortion are just based on the state of the or the stage of the abortion where we have picked up the patient's clinical symptoms, or where the patient has presented to us. Like if the patient is now having threatened abortion, now we will go one by one, or we can go simultaneously here. Now if the patient has threatened abortion, then the patient will complain of some pain in abdomen or some spotting of blood, but then patients will not have any history of any product of conception being expelled. Internal os on examination will be closed, also on the sonography it will be closed, and the fetal heart sounds will be very much present if it was already present in the prior sonography, and then the fetus will be live with the os closed, and it will be just a threat to her that she might land up into a spontaneous abortion. So at this stage we need to take, since this stage is completely a reversible stage of abortion, we treat the patient with bed rest, and whatever progesterone her body is lacking we give from outside progesterone, or we try to stimulate this internal natural progesterone secretion by giving outside gonadotropin, human chorionic gonadotropin injections. Okay, but now if suppose the patient comes with same complaint of pain and spotting, and or patient might be even asymptomatic, but she does not give any history of products being expelled. Even on examination her internal os is closed, but on ultrasonography, which is the so missed abortion itself is a completely based on USG for its diagnosis, and that is compulsory to diagnose it as a missed abortion, that is USG. You have to make this point very clear that to diagnose a patient's abortion as missed abortion, one must have ultrasonography report which is stating that fetal heart sounds are absent over here, and here the baby fetus is dead and the internal os is closed in the here. Patient might be completely asymptomatic, and that's why we need USG report to confirm the diagnosis of missed abortion, and but still patient might come with pain and spotting as well. So here, since the fetus is dead, we have to do suction and evacuation. Now there comes the next type of spontaneous abortion, that is inevitable abortion, where patient comes with pain, bleeding, leaking per vaginal, or patient might just come with pain. She does not give any history of product being expelled per vaginally, but on examination her internal os is open, and on ultrasonography we can see the internal os is open, and the bulging membrane which are bulging through the internal os we can make out on ultrasonography, and the products of conception are in the process of being expelled, though not at all expelled. but they are in a process of expulsion to such an extent that it is an irreversible stage, and that's why it is called as inevitable abortion. That abortion is going to happen anyhow, even though the fetus might be live, because the os is open and membranes are bulging. Now this is the stage where the internal os is open, and once internal os is open, it is impossible to revert it back to a closed state naturally. So this is the stage where one can try putting in intracervical Foley, inflated Foley's catheter and rescue or therapeutic encirclage. But if the uterus is already contracting too much, it is an irreversible stage and it will be an inevitable abortion. So here we have to do suction and evacuation again. Now next will be incomplete abortion. Here she will complain with pain and bleeding or leaking, and she will give history that she has seen some products of conception being expelled per vaginally, but on examination the os will be open, so there will be still some products of conceptions left inside the uterus which are yet to be expelled, which will be seen on ultrasonography like retained products of conception, and we have to evacuate those products by suction and evacuation. Now there comes the last type of the spontaneous abortion, that is complete abortion. Again, patient comes with a history of all this pain, bleeding and leaking, but right now the pain is resolved quite a lot and she has stopped active bleeding, and there is a, since the products are totally expelled, she gives history that she might have seen the fetus being expelled or the much more bleeding than much more bleeding she gives the history of. And right now internal os is closed, and on ultrasonography again os is closed and nothing is left inside the uterine cavity, no retained products of conception. In fact, there is only thickened endometrium is left inside the uterine cavity. So only thick endometrium is the ultrasonographic finding. Here we don't need to do any treatment, we just have to do ultrasonography. We have to confirm whether all the products of conception are completely evacuated naturally and internal os is closed, no retained products of conception. And after this USG report, you can reassure the patient that now she has got her spontaneous complete abortion and we don't need to do any treatment over here. So this way, these are the types of abortion and the ultrasonographic and clinical findings, including signs, symptoms and examination finding and the treatment. I hope that you are now clear with the concept of these types of spontaneous abortion. Thank you, thanks a lot and all the best.